Somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros, left pocket got pound. Somebody gon' want revenge, somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. They took it to 10.
And, Coach, we are down on the Bayou as you get a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome here in New Orleans. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New Orleans Saints. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. We go. 60 or. We go.
Now the first carry here for Phillip Lindsay. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
On first down, right back to Lindsay. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. 2nd and 9 now. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. They'll drop the throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard line. Thomas, the intended target. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. The first down run with Gurley, a good one. He gets forward for 6 yards. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Now Gurley. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Now it's Darnold. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. And since the penalty occurred in the end zone, move the ball to the 1-yard line.
1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Costly penalty.
Here we go, here we go. You must be dreaming.
They'll try and push it in with Gurley. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Todd Gurley with his 16th touchdown of the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Myers connects on the PAT. And it's now a 7-0 game. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Back to throw. Open man is Michael Thomas. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Took him 5 tries, but he is able to complete that first pass of the game.
And could you hear the exhale all the way up here? Not just from him, coaching staff, offensive line, receivers. Now he's off the schneid. Can they get him going in a nice groove where he becomes a little more consistent throwing the football?
Because you miss those first 2, but you get up the 0 for 4 range. That can be a little tricky, but able to settle in, hopefully.
Yeah, now you won't have any confidence issues. Now you can kind of get it back even with just one throw.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 50-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Ebron caught left side. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
30 base. Hey, Delta, let's go. Let's get it.
They'll set up to throw. And that is incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down.
At their own 16-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Hey, Foxtrot, Foxtrot.
57, you're not ready.
Darnold now to throw. For the catch made by Johnson. And all the way down to the 42. A big-time play there for New Orleans. 41 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They run. It's Gurley. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
A first down throw, Darnold. Johnson's got it complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Let him know. Let him know, let him know.
Here's Darnold. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. From 10 yards out. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Extra point up and through by Myers. And it's now 14-0. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
We taking wins home. Hey, Haywood.
90 is the money. You got double up, double up, double up, double up. 90 is the
Go.
Second and 3. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you?
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Matt Milano coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Here's Darnold. And that's complete. It's the tight end Daniels. Give them 18 there, and the Saints have a 1st down.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position. Everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner, and with good timing, you get a completion, as we just saw there.
On 1st down, it's Gurley. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 18 there, and the Saints have a 1st down. Ready for the 2nd quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Topper!
It's our time. It's our time, guys. It's our time. My game, my game.
We ain't giving up nothing.
Darnold from the gun. He gets this one to Johnson. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. 25 yards that time.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Darnold. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. He's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
On the ready.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's a 2nd and 7. Gonna get this complete to Cooper Kupp. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A play action fake. They'll look to throw. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
They'll look to throw here. Strong safety Landon Collins, the one who got a hand in there, knocked it away.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Darnold. Got a man. It's Brown. 20. 10. Touchdown. New Orleans. Marquise Brown. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Myers connects on the PAT. And a rout is on here in this first half. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Let's go. First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Set up.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. You've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case,
and the pressure gets to him again. Uchenna Nwosu, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign. Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. They're going to look to throw. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Now on second down, this is Gurley. Gurley's got the first down and then some. The 30, the 20, 10, and he's hauled away down to the 6-yard line. A big run there by Gurley, 59 yards. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. From 6 yards away, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point up and through by Myers. And the route is on here in this first half. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
Fair catch made at the 25-yard line. The Steelers take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field in this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
And it's third down.
And for the Saints here on third down, an extra defensive back on the field. They'll try and run for it with Lindsey. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now back to throw. Ebron with it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first. Now it's Lindsey. Room here to run. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And he coughed it up. And this is picked up by the Saints. And he'll be stopped shy of the 15 at the 14-yard line on the return. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, New Orleans. A big play there as the first half is winding down, as his guys continue to pour it on.
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone. Myers connects on the PAT, and the route is on here in this first half. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
It's a gain of 2, and it will be the final act of this first half of play. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. Set now to go for the third quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
You better bring it.
Here comes carry number 10 for Gurley. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now third and long. Here's Gurley now out of the gun. And he'll be stopped here well short of the first down at the 24-yard line. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on fourth down. Here's Cameron Johnston now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
Line of scrimmage back at their own 3 now as they come up 2nd and long. From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Cooper Kupp was his intended target. And it's 3rd down.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their 3rd of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they missed a golden opportunity.
Hey, lock it. 6 guys. Check 80 weapon. Get it.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that will be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Take it at the 37. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here 1st and 10.
Check right 57, right 57. Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense.
Now it's Gurley. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So on the heels of the run by Todd Gurley, another 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
2nd and 10 at the 39-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They run out of the shotgun with Gurley. And he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now, there's also a flag down, and it's in the area of holding. Now, they had stopped him for a loss on the run anyway, so they'll decline that.
It's almost a good psychological advantage, isn't it? You created a penalty, and you still couldn't gain yards against us. No way we need to take that one.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long.
I'm coming after you.
Following the penalty, it's Gurley. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the first down. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny? When we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Hatchet. 22-jet bomber. 22-jet bomber.
Another run by Lindsey. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10.
Ready.
On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. Oh, now Lindsey lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Back to the workhorse today. It's Gurley. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
2nd and 11 at the Steelers' 38-yard line.
Here we go. Whip. Watch the whip. Check. Lucky. No, lady.
Again they run with Gurley. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7 left.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
So 3rd down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. They try right side here, Gurley. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. A 5-yard loss there is going to bring up 4th down. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So not sure how they feel about that. They had golden field position to start the drive after the fumble recovery, but they went backward and then got 3.
Well, let's go from gold to silver, because the silver lining is they got the 3, right? You were talking about the golden field position. They didn't take advantage of it. That has to feel like a letdown.
You always stand ready to pounce. Always. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Good wording. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Ready, break. Greystone, travel.
On first down, Lindsey. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
They'll look to throw. They'll get this one to Cup, complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
A gain of 9 yards. First down, Pittsburgh.
Okay, ready?
951. Big stop, D. Big stop. Let's go.
Big grip.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Screen pass to Lindsey. The first down screen pass, good for 5. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. They'll try to draw Lindsey. And he loses the football a second time. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line.
As they say, this game hasn't exactly been one for the books. I mean, we're into the 4th quarter here. And now this happens, another turnover. Not one that they're going to hold up and say, yeah, this has been a banner day.
Absolutely. Still sitting on 0. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards. Mullins now. 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. They'll run the toss. It's Lindsey. Oh, heck of a move.
Man.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll run here with Lindsey. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And he's all the way down to the 13-yard line. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. DJ Reader there on the tackle.
Well, big man with ball met bigger man on the other side of the line. A really nice play for the defense.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on first.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead.